All right, everybody, welcome back to the Lost Legion. I am Adam, joined as always by Daniel. I am definitely winning this escalation link. And JR, I can't believe I actually had to play a game Dieter.
I mean, I always want to play a game.
So some quick podcast news, guys, is we do have a new camera for our overhead shots. It is set up and working. So starting this Wednesday, when we are at Ender's Games, we should be having a little bit better definition. So it'll be pretty cool. See how it works out. Make sure that everything's good and be able to actually see some droids getting killed.
Nice.
As I guess I just said, this Wednesday we will be at Ender's Games. Live stream starts at 5:30-ish. 5:30 is not a hard number. I literally get off of work, come home, grab my stuff, and go to the store. So however long that takes, sometimes I'm out of here in 5 minutes, sometimes I'm out of here in 10, 15 minutes. And then the store opens at 3. So if you guys want to head up early, get some games done before I get there, you're more than welcome to. My Escalation League game is this Wednesday, so you'll be able to see me take out some Shadow Collective.
Nice. Who are you playing?
It is Raph in the Discord, which I believe is Carson.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and I played X-Wing with Carson, and he's a really good X-Wing player. And I imagine that he's taking that same devotion and practice and all that into Legion. So it should be a really great game.
Yeah, he played in I think the last Escalation League, or I think it's just a regular tourney. When the 13 stat list was a thing. And yeah, he definitely is good at putting his angles down and everything.
Mm-hmm. So that's our announcements. Oh, no, it's not. I lied. I'm sorry. Guys, please head over to our Twitch page. Give us a like, subscribe. YouTube, like, subscribe. You can find us on Discord, our Facebook page. All this information will be on your screens. I'll put it in the descriptions of the video so you can also comment or just click the links. Any like, subscribe, anything you guys share helps us out a lot. And just, if you enjoy the show, please take the time to support us. Awesome. So let's jump into this tournament. So I picked a completely random tournament. This tournament is called Battlezone Urza, and it is out of Anchorage. So it was 13 players, I believe it was. 11 players, sorry. And I believe that is almost the whole state of Alaska. So I thought it'd be a good state tournament to look at. I will go ahead and take the winning list. This list went 3-0. Malik Jones. Believe it or not, he brought Shadow Collective. His list was Maul, Force Push, Choke, Vigilance, Tenacity, the Dark Saber. He has 1 Capo with Improvised Orders, 1 Capo with Vigilance. He's got some Black Sun Enforcers. He's got the Magnet, the extra guy, the Recon Intel Frag Grenades, another Black Sun with the Scatter, the Black Sun, the extra guy, the Recon Intel. He has 3 Foot Soldiers, 3 Pikes, Foot Soldiers, with the Disruptor Soldier, so the range 4 gun, and 1 Capo. And he has 1 Pike without the Capo, so just the range 4 gun and the extra guy. So looking at this list, what completely surprises me is the Black Sun Enforcers are just kind of Courage 1. Like, they don't have a cap, or their version of the Capo, I forget what it's called.
The Vigo.
The Vigo. So he is taking a real risk, and obviously it paid off with that Courage 1 bubble.
Yeah, it looks like It looks like his Black Suns, he has the Vigo on one of them, his more expensive one with the scatter gun. So that one's a little bit more protected, but yeah, the other one's just hanging out there. Just courage one. Probably isn't gonna dauntless that too many times.
Well, and I'm kind of curious. And again, I know nothing about these people or their rules or anything like that, but I'm kind of curious if they realize the rules or know the rule that the Black Suns can't share courage with Maul.
I'm sure probably. I mean, yeah, at a tournament, it usually that kind of stuff comes out.
Yeah. On the Maul itself, I was surprised by Darksaber. I think you could have saved 10 points. I mean, unless you really want cunning. You had the capital, so you met your commander limit or minimum. I would have took that 10 points somewhere else and left the Darksaber.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still torn on the Darksaber because I've played a couple players now who swear by it, but it is expensive and it lowers your offense just a little bit. So I don't know.
Honestly, it's just the Darksaber is really good, but if you need that 10 points, that's where you can get it, is from the Darksaber.
Right.
Because cunning and surge to crit is really good, and you lose your offensive power, but if you need 10 points somewhere else, it's okay to just drop it, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, obviously Malik did something great. He took first place in the tournament. Congratulations on that. JR, you want to give us second place?
Sure. Let me pull that up right now. So he is running. Let me try to give his name out. James Johnson. Johansson. He's
Johansson.
running. That's what I figured. Johansson. He's running Genovere's Improvised Order, Boba Fett with Up Close and Personal, and Hunter. 3 Stormtroopers naked. 2 Scout Troopers with a sniper, and then 2 ATSTs with the Hammer Pilot, Twin Light Blaster Cannon, and Link Targeting Array. So this list looks pretty good. I believe it's how many? 2, 4, 7, 8, 9 acts. Honestly, this thing would kill a lot of trooper units, but I'm assuming the positioning is what matters in this list.
Yeah, if you get an open table against this list, I think you're kind of in trouble. Because Boba doesn't care about cover, so your cover's not going to do you anything. You've got massive dice pool coming from the ATSTs, and the scout troopers are going to pick off anything that has, lots of dodges. So I see why this list did well.
The only issue I see with this list is hands. So the objectives where you need a trooper unit. You don't really want to throw your scouts up there. You really don't want to throw Veers up there. So that leaves you Boba and 3 Naked Storms, which, yeah, I mean, that's 4 people out of your list, but
Boba is a
depending on
pretty
his
good pair of
opponents.
hands, though.
Yes, he is.
Because, like, if you think about like recover the supplies, I wouldn't want to play that against Boba. He's so good at that kind of objective. And then that leaves what, like intercept? You can leave your snipers do the back one. You'd be in a little bit of trouble in the middle, but it's not the worst.
Second place, I mean, obviously a good player. He knew what he was doing and how to pilot his army.
Yeah.
And I should mention that second place through 6th place, which we're not going to go all the way down to 6th, was a tie. Everybody went 2-1. They won on, it looks like, BP. So battle points, but they all went 2-1. So third place, you want to bring that one up, Daniel?
Sure. So this is C Krigbomb. I assume that's just a username. And his list is CIS, the super tactical droid, just the generic, or no, this is Kalani, sorry. Running aggressive tactics. A B2 super battle droids, 2 of them, running the B2 ACM trooper, which is the one that adds just the 3 red dice. Then he's running 4 B1s completely naked, and an pair of AATs with the OOM series droid pilot, linked targeting array, and armor piercing shell. So this makes me think that probably heavies are a big part of the meta in Alaska, because not only did he bring 2 AATs, but he thought I should bring armor piercing shells. And he was right, because the second place list was a pair of ATSDs. So I really like I like the image of all of these tanks battling. It's just that's a cool game to have 2 AATs playing against 2 ATSTs. I like it a lot.
I'm curious. I didn't look into it. I wonder if they ended up playing each other. The
Let's see.
AAT and the, let's see here.
Doesn't look
James
like they
and
did.
Kick Farm.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yep,
Which round was
round
that?
2.
Nice. So round 2, there was 4
I'm sorry,
heavies on the
round
table.
3. Round 3,
Round
sorry.
3. Okay.
Yeah, and actually the AAT list won.
Well, it's double armor piercing rounds. That's gonna be hard for the ATST to deal with.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh
No, that's
man,
cool.
but talk about a feels bad moment. And it's again back to our conversations on how we need something better than battle points or margin of victory or SOS like that. But you took 3rd place after you just beat the person in 2nd place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge just feels bad moment.
Yeah, it is.
It makes sense. So the other guy went 2-0 earlier, so he hadn't taken a loss up until this point. But yeah,
I just want to shout out to him for bringing 2 ATSTs and doing what I thought they would do. I remember we had an argument a while back. I think this was before you, Daniel, where everyone's just like, nah, AAT would destroy the ATST. I'm like, no, it wouldn't. They have just native impact, and then they have more impact than the AAT. So yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish they would have called me. I would have gone to Alaska live stream the game because I really wanted to see this now that I'm thinking about it.
4
So you guys
tanks on
go.
the table. That's awesome. Like a
Yeah.
pair of ATSTs facing off the AATs. I love the image of that game.
So I'll throw it out there, guys. All I need is a plane ticket. Send me a plane ticket. I will go live stream your events. You can find us on Facebook, Discord. You know, again, all those links appeared on your screen.
I just want to mention, I could see why the guy who won 1st place that went 3-0 is because a lot of people in this tournament didn't run a force users. So that brings it up to the debate: is users needed to win the tournament?
I think you have to either have a force user or some other really strong gimmick. And so force user is kind of the easier default, like, well, I know what my gimmick is. I can push people around and I have a really strong melee unit.
That's
Mhm.
true. That's true.
Hold on, I want to look this up real quick. I didn't look into this either. Did Malik, the 1st place winner, take on any of the tanks? And
He took
he
2
didn't.
persuader tanks.
There was another double tank list. Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I love it. This tournament was awesome.
Yeah. It
Alaska,
seems like
you just won our hearts right there.
it seems like everybody was in on the tournament, like, yeah, let's just bring heavies, and then one guy's just like, not me, I'm not doing it, and then everyone's like, bro, come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
That would be a fun tournament though, like just a random rule of you guys have to bring double heavies.
That'd be
Yeah.
sweet.
I don't own any double heavies. Oh, I guess I could do I have a saber tank and 1 ISP.
There you
So
go.
There you go.
yeah.
I don't know what it is when I buy stuff, I have to buy 2 of everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I buy 2, so I have 2 ISPs, 2 wiki copters. Like it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd love to say I'm rich enough to afford that, but my credit card statement says otherwise. So I actually had an idea for a tournament. Next tournament kind of that we throw in, and it was kind of a hardcore mode. So
Hardcore mode.
a hardcore mode. So you bring in $800 or 800 points, sorry. And you have 200 points in reserve. So overall, you're making 1,000 point list. Here's the catch. If you lose a unit, that unit's out the rest of the tournament. So if you lose Maul game 1, you're the next 2 rounds, he's done. And then but you can bring in somebody from your reserve points.
Oof.
That sounds interesting. I dig it.
Yep.
I think it'd be
I just
really
thought it'd be
rough
something fun.
for Shadow Collective because they just don't have options once Maul's dead.
Yeah.
Well, and
Well, I mean, you could bring Gar Saxon, right?
Yeah.
So be like in your reserves.
but
Yeah.
that's why I mean, and obviously maybe bring up the reserves a little bit more to 400. It's just I just thought it'd be make people play differently.
It's a fun idea. Yeah.
Because I'm a very aggressive player. You can go back with my games with Omar. I'm just like, hey, here's some Wookiees. Take them to the face.
Yeah, I am too.
So let's kick that idea around, and I don't know. We'll probably make some fun prizes with that because it sounds great to me.
I'm calling it now. I'm bringing a T series and a bunch of B1s, and in my reserves are going to be more T series and a bunch of B1s.
At least your strategy won't switch from round to round. And I still have 8 B1s. There they go.
Hey, you kill a couple B1s. Here's some more.
Yeah.
Well,
If you fight like an ATST though, they'll wipe and act every turn. That's gonna be you're gonna be out 6 B1s after round one.
True.
After your first game.
I think the strategy in this tournament would be bring something that could just wipe a whole act in one shot.
Yeah. And then something to fix it. Maybe medics or
Yeah.
paradroids.
Yeah, I'd be stocking up on heavies and double saber tanks, like in Wookiees, anything with just a bunch of hit points. All right, so was my random idea out of nowhere. Let's move on to some games. I will go ahead and go first. And the past week, I have had a grand total of 0 games. I was supposed to play JR on Wednesday, and we were going to live stream, but I had an opportunity to make those galactic credits, and with some of the plans I have going on in my personal life, which I'm not ready to share on stream. I kind of need those galactic credits, so sorry, JR, failed at you last minute. Sorry, everybody, for not live streaming. So that was mine. Daniel? Daniel, did you get anything?
Yeah, so I played a couple games. I'm gonna just real quickly cover. I played my Escalation League game, and this one I played against Omar, and it was a bloodbath. So he's running a pair of Wookiees with the battle shield, Chewbacca, one squad of Rebel troopers with an extra guy, one squad of fleet troopers with the scatter gun, and then just a Rebel officer to fit that commander requirement. And then I'm running Grievous and 2 pairs of Magna Guards, and I switched to running the whip this time because I was just like, I'm going all in on just running in and killing things. So I'm running 2 squads of those Magnas with the whip. They also have tenacity, and then I'm running just 2 B1s with E5C, just the basic 3 extra black dice, because that's all you can afford after you have Grievous and a pair of Magnus. So then we go to our game, and basically both our lists just want to run at you and kill you. And so then we played Control, and we played the corner deployment, and turn 1 or round 1, we kind of just got into position so that we could run in and kill things. And then turn 2, we ran in and killed things. And it became just I attack with a squad of Wookiees, or I attack with a squad of Magnus, and then you attack with a squad of Wookiees, and then you shoot at me with the scattergun, and then Grievous does his spin to win. And basically the way it panned out is my Magnus were just rolling hot. I had at least twice in the game where they, without aims, just straight rolled a full boat. And that is a lot of dice because they're rolling 8. So a full boat from a Magnus into anything feels really bad. So with the Magnus rolling so hot, they ended up beating out the Wookiees, and then that's basically like the whole game for our lists. If the Wookiees win, then he mops up my B1s with no problem. If the Magnus win, then I mop up his troopers with no problem. And that's basically what happened is Magnus won their engagement and then went out. I think they one-shot the rebels, and the other squad went and finished off Chewie. And it was a good game, and it was a bloodbath, and my dice were just they could not lose.
So you must have stole JR's dice then. The
I
loaded
did.
ones.
Yep. I just loaned him.
JR, did you get a game?
Yeah, I did my escalation league with Jonathan. He was running, can pull that up. Skywalker with force push. This is Commander Skywalker. Sabine up close and personal combat shield. 2 fleet troopers, and then Clan Ren with Tristan Ren, Ursa Win up close and personal. I was running Vader with vigilance, force push, saber throw, and burst of speed. 2 dewbacks with tenacity, comm jammer, and the blaster rifle T-21. 1 stormtrooper with the medic droid, and another stormtrooper with the portable scanner. So this was actually a fun game for me because we played face off. We did control, and our condition was dawn. So only things to shoot at range 2 at the first turn. There was a tower to the right of him, to the left of him, and to the right of me that was height 2. And so first thing he does is just use Sabine to get onto that height 2 with jump 2, and gunslinger shoot at my dewbacks. Got some wounds on though. Then the clan Ren did the same thing, and that was like the most annoying thing about this game because I have nothing to get up there. I can't do anything. I could double clamber up to it, but that's a whole turn, and so like they're pretty much safe. So what I decided to do was I had the fleet or my dewbacks go and maul the fleets, and they pretty much ate up the fleets. But I traded dewbacks with it because Luke Skywalker went in and killed 1 dewback. Um, then of course Vader moves up slowly. So I killed 2 of his activations turn 1, and he killed 1 of my dewbacks. So he's down 2, I'm down 1. Turn 2, he plays Son of Skywalker, and then I play what did I play? Vader's Might. So first thing is I won the roll off, so I wanted to draw from my bag and hope to get the dewback, and I did get the dewback. So I just decided to double move into Luke Skywalker to stop his Son of Skywalker attacks, and I did some wounds. I think I did 2 wounds against Luke Skywalker. Then he goes with Luke Skywalker. He attacks the dewback, kills the dewback, and then unfortunately he's not next to anything, so he just moves. In hindsight, he could have shot because it's Commander Vader or Commander Luke, but we both didn't think about it, so he didn't shoot with the second one. Then Vader might Sabine into him, and then attacks Sabine. You know how many wounds I did to Sabine's? I did 1 wound. 1 wound. I was so annoyed. I was just like, because Sabine is like in the bane of my existence. She just so tanky.
Yep.
And she survived. Sure, she took only 1 wound. So then he shot at some guys. I managed to get I did 2 wounds to Luke that turn, and then I managed to have the stormtroopers attack. And they did another wound on him, so he had 3 wounds. And so then turn 3 came. I play Implacable. He plays Sabine's 1 pip explosions. I win the roll off again. No, I didn't win the roll off. No, yes, I did. I win the roll off, and at turn 2, no one scored points because we were tied. Turn 3, I force push Luke into me because he had withdrawn the turn before with Sabine to get out with the explosions. So I decided to kill Luke because he's not tanky. He ain't got a dodge, so I'm more likely to kill him. And I do just that. I kill him. Vader takes a wound to put his order back in the token, and then he goes with the explosions. He does some wounds to my troopers, and then Vader, he did 2 more wounds to Vader. So Vader's sitting at like 5 health. Yeah, so he's got like 3 left. And then that was into that turn. In hindsight, I think we both talked about after the game. He should have moved Sabine back onto the building. That was height 2, because then Vader couldn't do anything but clamber up there. So then turn 4, the points tied again. Turn 4, what did I play? I played I played Dark Descents, and then he only has standing orders at this point. So I force push Sabine into me. I attack Sabine, and this time I do 3 more wounds to her, and then he shoots at some of my stormtroopers, manage to kill a squad, and we tie again on this point. Sabine does do damage to Vader despite me spinning dodges, and he's at like 6 health now. 6 health. And no. If this is turn 4, Vader's on 1 health left. But I managed to like force push Sabine closer to the wall, so that way I can force push, move and relentless, and then move again to touch the base of the terrain that's height 2. So that way Vader can clamber up to the Clan Ren and attack it. That's my plan. So because we're down to 2x each.
Yeah.
I have only 2 stormtroopers left. He has Clan Ren who hasn't been touched, and I, obviously Sabine. So he's shooting at my stormtroopers, so I just like send him off somewhere far away. He's like, "Don't you need the point in the middle?" I'm like, "Yeah, but turn 5 is where it matters most, so they can come back if anything. Just go hide, just go hide." So then yeah, Sabine dies that turn 4, but we only have 1 point each into the circle. He shoots at Vader with the Clan Ren, and now Vader's at 7 health. He only has 1 health left. So I play Master of Evil because I'm hoping to restrict Clan Ren to just 1 action. And I'm nervous. I run the roll off again. I clamber up, so I gotta roll 2 dice. If I get any shields, Vader's just dead. I roll. Luckily for me, none of the shields came up. And then I attack with Relentless, and I killed 2, so Ursul's still there, and then he attacks back. I managed to roll a block. So it's very close. Like I could just blank any of these and I would have died. And then I just double moved my stormtrooper back into the middle. Very close game. Sabine, always annoying. But Jonathan did technically win that game since I'm a bye. So he will be going on. And yeah, it was super fun, super close match. And
So
yeah, that was
I have a question about your game.
yes.
And I'm trying to bring up the rules reference right now as I'm talking.
Mhm.
If you climb and clamber, it takes both your actions. Are you sure Relentless procs?
I believe so because clamor is considered a move action, and relentless happens after a move action.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think that works.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I'm not
computer's being
sure,
really
but I
slow.
think it works.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I just always assumed it was clamor is considered a move action.
Climb and clamber. Let's see.
I have a different question for you, JR.
Yes.
Isn't there a restriction to what the height that Vader can pull people
Yeah,
from?
it's funny that we were actually talking about that in the game. So if you look at Vader's might, it says choose a non-heavy unit at range 1 and place that unit on the battlefield within range 1 and height 1 of its current position. So there's no restriction of what level of height Vader can pull off. It's just that as long as you're in range 1, I could place you at height 1. So that's to stop you from like putting you like I can't just put your guys on a height 3 terrain and then just be like, now you can't use that act anymore. It's just
Unless
you got
you're using Vader's might.
No. Vader's that's the whole point of Vader's might. You can't put him on height 3. You could put him in height 1 or on the ground ceiling, but you can't do above that. I know me and Jonathan were talking about it. He thought you couldn't pull off a height 2, but there's no restriction on pulling on the height. It's just placing is where the restriction is.
So I did bring
I
up
see.
climbing. I did bring up climbing and clambering. The very last bullet point. If a game effect triggers by a unit moving, that game effect can be triggered by climbing or clambering.
I just
Nice.
imagine I just imagine Vader just climbing up this tower and like, since he's so wounded, he's like, oh, I could do this. I could do this. Oh man.
Yeah, but at that point, I mean, why don't you, again, there's not game wise because there's no way, but use your force powers and just kind of, make you float up. Like, that's what I'd be doing.
Right.
But if I also had access to the force, there's 1,000% chance I would be using it inappropriately.
So circling back to Vader's might real quick, because I think I'm misunderstanding this the same way Johnny is.
Mm.
Because it says, so choose another non-heavy unit at range 1. Place that unit on the battlefield within range 1 and height 1 of its current position. So doesn't that mean you can only change its elevation by height 1?
See here. Choose another unit at range 1 and place that unit on the battlefield within range 1 and height 1 of its current position.
Mm-hmm. So yes,
Because that sounds to me like it has to, you can't bring it up or down more than height 1. But maybe like, I don't know the way that the building was set up. Maybe it was like lower than
No,
the height of the building.
because like the building was height 2, so he was on height 2, and we had ruled it height 2.
Okay.
So like if I was gonna reposition him, it would just he would still be on the building. There was no other lower. But
Okay.
yeah, that's something I need to look into because I always interpreted it as when I pull you off height 2, I just have to put you in height 1, like on the ground or anything. But oh, let me see here. 31 range 1 and height
Let's see
1
if there's
of its current position. Some questions on it?
I'm bringing up the FAQs real quick.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah, so that might have been a misplay on my part, but I'm pretty sure that's how it worked, but I could be wrong as well.
Yeah, it probably.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It probably doesn't matter that much anyway, because I'm sure there was like something that was slightly elevated you could have put him on that would have put him within like that height 1.
Yeah. Even if not, Vader would have had to clamber up there, get up, kill these guys.
Which he did eventually.
Yeah, but honestly, then in that point, Jonathan just needs to just jump off it, be like, okay, clamber down again.
Yeah.
So
So I was thinking while I'm looking this up, we'll might have to just cover Vader's might at a different time. But since we started this podcast, I don't think there's been a week where you have not misplayed again.
Yeah. Honestly, it's good that I'm not competing in the tournament, isn't it?
Let me make a quick show note, and maybe we can start doing that. We can start covering
recap it the next week.
Yeah, recap it, but we can start covering some questionable command cards. So like Vader's might, how exactly does it work? Just every other curious things that we may not be quite familiar with.
So how are you liking the dewbacks, JR?
I really like the dewbacks.
Yeah.
They're kind of like a missile, in my opinion. Is if you can get them in, they'll do damage, and like your opponent has to deal with them. I haven't seen an opponent who just ignored them. And usually I learned that once the dewbacks go in, they're gonna die. And in this case, in this case, that's how it's always been. They go in and then they die, because my opponent deals with them. But they're fun. They're a lot of fun, and I like to play them. And I just think
you have been telling your opponents too that your dewbacks are like 3 inches smaller than the actual dewbacks, right?
No, I tell them that, hey, it's hidden behind the line of sight blocker, so sorry.
If you can't see the horse,
Yeah,
you wouldn't have been able to see the dewback.
My bad, bro.
We're gonna have to get a picture. We're gonna have to get a picture of your dewback so everybody can just see what we're talking about.
Yeah, I told all my my opponents, if there's any time a line of sight discrepancy, I'm just gonna give it to you. Which, someone could just use it and just be like, hey, technically I should be able to see it. I'm like, yeah, you can have it. Not a big deal.
I mean, which is fair against an experienced player, but you get a new player like Jose who has no idea how long a dewback is supposed to be. Like, So I don't know. I think for what you're doing now, escalation league and just kind of filling in and stuff. Yeah, okay. If it was a tournament, I would be telling you to get some green as a TO, be telling you to get some green stuff to at least make it as long as it's supposed to be.
Well, I'm glad you're not a Tino because that's not fun, and you're not fun. You're a fun sucker.
Yeah, I don't
Uh
think it'll be a problem. As long as you bring it up and make it clear to your opponent, it's like, hey, if you can't see it, you can probably still see it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, hey, I showed him like the dewback's this long, where my horse is like this long. So
Yeah.
if, keep that in mind. Like, I'll give it to you.
If you build like one of the dewbacks and just have it, just so that they can be like, oh, that's how big a dewback's supposed to be. I think that would even
Oh
that
yeah.
that should deal with it completely. It's
I
like, oh yeah, imagine this where my horse is, and think about, can you see it? The answer is probably yes.
yeah. But to be fair,
So okay.
in a lot of my games when I run dewbacks, I don't have them behind like big line of sight blockers because my
Right.
thing is just I'm rushing them in. That's
Yeah.
all their purpose is.
Now, until you actually learn to play dewbacks.
I think I've been playing them just fine, thank you.
I mean, dewbacks are kind of just damage soaks. They're pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They for their price point, they do very well.
Yeah.
Hey, but let's jump into this TTS game that's going on for Invader League. Daniel, you need some help?
Yeah, so basically the way it's gone is I won another Invader League game this last week. So that puts me at 3-1. And to make it to guarantee a spot in eliminations, I need to be going 4-1. And so as Tabletop Simulator Invader League games go, you know what your opponent's going to run. And so I thought it'd be fun to talk about how I could win my last game and guarantee my spot in eliminations. Because otherwise, it's going to come down to tie breaks, and no one wants to deal with the tie breaks.
So why don't you go through your list real quick? Remind us all what you're running.
Yeah, so my list is a T-Series tactical droid with Underworld connections, Bosk running Hunter, offensive push, and targeting scopes, Cad Bane running situational awareness, duck and cover, comms relay, and the electro gauntlets, 4 B1s with an E5S, the sniper heavy option, 1 B1 with just HQ uplink, and 2 Magna Guards with the rocket launcher, tenacity, and offensive push.
And then JR, you want to bring up his opponent? Do you have it up?
Yeah, I got it. So he's running what are these tabs? Darth Vader, burst of speed, force push, force choke, vigilance, Imperial officer, Din with tenacity, up close and personal. The Mando has jetpack and the best far spear. 4 stormtroopers that are naked, and then 3 bikes.
So your opponent's list, I kind of jumped over your list there a little bit, Daniel. Sorry, but we've gone over it. I just wanted a quick
Yeah,
refresher on it. I am quite surprised with the spear instead of the Ambien rifle.
yeah, I am
So,
too.
but what this tells me is he wants to be in your face. He wants to get Mando and Vader in your face and just go to town. So the question for me looking at it turn zero would be, who's a bigger threat, Vader or Din?
Yep.
So the way I'm looking at this list and how I think would need to be targeted first is actually none of those people. I think it's the bikes. The bikes
Mhm.
are the weakness in the list. Um, I'm looking at his deployment, his command cards, and everything, and it doesn't surprise me that he's taking the best bar spear with Din because his whole goal is to throw Vader and Din down your throat with the speeder bikes as backup. Uh, so I think you play a little bit more defensive and wait for him to come because those bikes have to come to you. They're gonna come to you. So you pick those off and you wait to get to ahead and axe, and then you just start focusing because you got Magnus, you have Cad Bane, so you could lock down Vader or Din with Cad Bane, and obviously with the Mandos or the Magna Guards. And you got a lot of E5Ss, so you can shoot long range, and then Boss good at shooting things from far away. Um, do we know what his bid is?
So his bid is 12 points. So he is going to be blue player. And that's really what concerns me, is because his 4 objectives are the 4 objectives I chose not to take.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's running payload, bombing run, breakthrough, and hostage. So this is kind of one of my first specific questions to you guys. What do you think coming in on turn 0? What should be my mindset looking at these objectives? Which one should I be targeting? Which one should I be avoiding?
With his bikes and you not really having speed, I personally would avoid bombing run.
You definitely want to avoid bomber run, just like Adam said, and hostage exchange, because Vader's really good on that, especially with force
Yep.
choke. Your best bet is to do payload and breakthrough. Do you know he wants to be a blue player, or is it just set that that person's blue player?
It's not set, so he could choose to be red, but I'd be shocked if he took a 12-point bid and
Yeah.
wants to go red.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening,
And
especially
with-
when he sees my list too. He knows what my objectives are, and they're all not these.
Yeah, so I definitely think you take payload, you go for payload and breakthrough. Deployments, you don't want hemmed in if you're going payload.
Mhm.
Well, hold on,
Uh,
because before we jump into deployments objectives, I 100% would want breakthrough.
Breakthrough over payload.
Yep. And so the
Not-
reason this is you have your range 4 weapons for your snipers and stuff like that. So you can just play defense, kind of just ball up, make him come to you, get those wounds on, some bikes down before they even get to you. So that's what I would want to, that's why I would want breakthrough. So you're not really running the risk. You can take a turn or two to position and just play bully, basically.
You're all, I disagree with you, Adam. I think he needs to go for payload if he can, because you're assuming he's gonna throw those bikes down his throat. If I had breakthrough, I would not send my bikes till turn 5 and 6. Like,
Just hide him in the back
yeah,
and
just
then
hide him.
score
Yeah,
him.
just make him do loops until you come forward, and then we can start shooting. Right? There's no reason. I already have the advantage. You're gonna have to make the walk, and then compulsory over there if I need to, because he's got 3 of them. If it's already turn 5, one of them's gonna probably make it towards
Yeah.
the end.
Plus, Din is Mando speed,
That's true
so
too.
he'll probably
Yeah.
make it too.
Yeah. So payload's what you really want. Breakthrough's your second one. Um, hostage and then bombing run will be your last one.
Really,
Honestly.
hostage over bombing run.
Because turn 1, that's a victory point for him. Turn 2, it's a victory point for him. Turn 3 is a victory point for him on bombing run with the speeder bikes, right? Unless
Yep.
you can kill him before
Yeah,
then.
it's true.
Um,
I'm a little bit okay with him trickling in his spikes though, because then I'll for sure eliminate those acts.
but what
And
if
then I could try to make it back by picking up a bounty and maybe getting my bombs through.
that's
If I
true.
could maybe stand by castle, if I could prevent one bomb, I think I could be in the game.
Mm,
Whereas like hostage, how do I even play hostage against Vader?
that's hard. That's so
I don't
hard.
have a force user. I'm carrying my hostage with B1s.
Well, yeah, yeah, you are. Well,
It just feels bad.
you also have to keep that in mind with Bomber Run too, because of Vader's force choke. You're gonna have to truck along.
Yep.
He just force chokes you leader. You drop the bomb, and now you have to spin a turn just to move and pick it up.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, I
hot-
see why those two are the bottom 2 options. They're
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to play either of those.
He wants those for sure. But yeah, hostage exchange, man, you're right. With Vader, your best bet is to, I think you prioritize giving an order to the B1s in that have the hostage,
Mhm.
and then you have Cad Bane infiltrated there, because if Vader does approach, either Cad Bane's probably gonna die, but he can fend them off while you send your hostage back, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I would approach it. And then you have Bosk and your long range force to pick off theirs. But yeah, Vader do Vader things, so Vader's might's not gonna help you.
I just
Yeah.
picture the game ending with Mando holding one hostage and Vader holding the other, and me being like, "Well, I don't know what to do."
All right, so deployments, JR, so I put you up on that one. Where were you going with deployments?
No, I was just saying, if you do manage to get payload, you don't want to do it on him then. Major offensive disarray advanced positions, I think just fine. I don't know how well his army would do in disarray. I think that would be more favorable towards you.
I think so too. When I was looking at this, disarray, I think was what I'm going to target.
Hmm.
But my priority is going to be avoiding bad objectives, so I probably won't get to spend any bans on it.
No. And even then, like, if I was him, I would just put my bikes in the opposite disarray because that's a good flanking thing.
Yeah, my thought is though, if I can get like disarray breakthrough, then I can just charge wherever he puts his bikes and run away from Vader.
Yes.
And hopefully that will at least take a couple turns out of Vader's lethality.
Hmm. Hmm.
So my
Yeah. And then
deployments would be disarray, advanced position, major offensive, and you do not want him to.
I mean,
That makes sense.
Hemden is not bad for him. You just don't want it on payload and you don't want it on hostage exchange.
Or breakthrough.
Well, yeah, or breakthrough, or bombing run. You know what? You know what? You're right. Just get rid of Hemden. Okay. Yeah. If he gets hemmed in on any of these, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Man, this pick
like-
ban phase is gonna be rough for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was looking at this and I'm like, oh, this will be a fun turn 0 to talk about because it's gonna suck no matter what I do.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So the thing is, his objectives, like you have a good counter to just about, I shouldn't say good counter, you have a chance with just about all the objectives. But if you throw in hemmed in on one of those objectives, you're done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because my best shot is probably like payload or breakthrough, and those two would be terrible on hemmed in.
Yeah.
Yep. So my number one veto, regardless of anything else, would be hemmed in.
Yeah.
Like vetoing hemmed in trumps everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Adam. Even if you get hostage and bombing run, like that's what you're gonna play, that's fine. It's better than playing any of these objectives on him.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a good note because I wasn't quite thinking that drastic, but now that you guys talk about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think hemmed in is worse than a bad objective.
Conditions: hostile environment, limited visibility, war weary, minefield.
I just love this battle deck.
It's so good. That's what
bad.
When I was looking at this this list, I was like, wow, like I love the way that this list is clearly built for its battle deck. It's like, oh, I have breakthrough and bombing run with my bikes, and then I have payload and hostage exchange with Din and Darth Vader. It's like, oh man.
Yeah. I just want to let you know, like, even though this battle deck is like in his favor and everything, he doesn't have that much firepower.
No, that's what I was noticing. Is as soon as I chew through the bikes, basically I have control of combat, except for I probably won't be able to kill Din and Darth just because they'll be in melee.
I think you'll be able to kill one of them. You just have to choose which one to prioritize. But I don't think you can kill both.
No, I don't think so either. Though probably the way it'll pan out is I'll try to just screen them both with my Magnas. So I might end up killing neither, or maybe Din because he has so much less health.
Yeah, I'd go after Din for sure and leave Vader. And honestly, even though it's not probably shouldn't, but B1s make for good like running into Vader
Meat
so
shields.
he can waste his
because it takes him 2 full swings to kill a B1 squad.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I would do in case your Magnus fail.
Conditions for me, since you are playing droids, I would want war weary.
War weary, huh?
Why would you want war weary?
I don't know. I'd want war weary. Because I'm looking at it like hostile environment, like, okay. I guess I take that back. Hostile environment is what you would want. Yeah. I take that back. I apologize. Hostile environment is what you want. You are playing droids. You don't really care about suppression until you panic.
True.
I would go hostile environment, minefield, war weary, limited visibility.
Yeah, I definitely don't think you want Liv, just like Adam said. Liv's is the first one you veto. Honestly, I don't think if he's vetoing any of these, because the top two take precedent. But if you had to, Lim's the one you don't want, Warrior's the next one you don't want, and then you're fine on hostile and minefield. In fact, if you could manage to get minefield, I would most likely take that because
B1s are cheap.
His guys are worth more. Yeah, B1s don't care about dying.
If I could put like 1 or 2 wounds on like stormtrooper squads, then that's one shot from Cat.
Exactly. So yeah, man.
So ideally in this game, I would play breakthrough, I would probably want advanced positions and minefield. I think those would be my ideal objectives.
Yeah, I'd do minefield, probably advanced position as well, but I would do payload over breakthrough.
Yeah, I think I more or less agree with you guys. You said I think after what we said, I think disarray is probably the deployment I'm gonna aim for.
Mhm.
Because I like the idea of splitting, just having Vader be in one spot and me being able to interact with the other.
And then if you manage it, you could do disarray on a payload where you put your objective point the same place where he put yours, so that way you're just kind of paralleling each
Yeah.
other and not really clashing.
That would actually be probably best for me because then Vader can only attack or defend. And frankly, like the 4 squads of naked stormtroopers with a generic officer, I could send a couple bounty hunters and probably just turn off that point.
Who are you gonna bounty?
That was going to be my last question. So my thoughts right now is I'm thinking I want to bounty his officer and a Mando.
Yeah.
But I've never not bountied a force user before because, well, when there is a force user in the game, just because usually that forces them to be a little bit more passive. But I don't think I'm going to kill Vader. He's got too much
Yeah.
health.
Yeah, I honestly agree with you. Imperial officer. So if you manage to get the cheap bounty,
Mhm.
and then Din, because I think you focus Din, and then you just ignore Vader. Vader
He's gonna
can do
cause
some nasty
problems.
things. Yeah, he's gonna. It's
Oh,
so hard to say ignore Vader,
especially
but I
like
feel like you have to.
if I'm aiming for like payload on some turn, he's gonna throw a guy out with Vader's might. He's gonna kill a guy and force push a guy away.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be like, man, why am I even playing this game?
Bro, honestly, like when I was playing against your brother, um, if I didn't kill Luke Skywalker, I think I would have been. He would have won the game because Vader can't do much. Like he can, he's got these tricks, but all he had to focus on was killing the rest of my storms,
Mm,
and it's just Vader, and it's just like, yeah, that's game over.
yep.
Yeah.
So, and this is going to be down a rabbit hole. We don't want to get too far in. My problem with Vader right now, and it's a wave 1 problem. Wave 1 through, I would say 4, needs to be updated. Like
What-
Vader wave 1 was this great massive guy, like it's Vader. And now you get
Yep.
like Magna Guards who, yeah, Vader's still better, but not by much.
I don't know. I think Vader's like a S tier character right now. The only thing is like Magna Guards, I think, are a little bit too cheap, and they do counter force users really well. So just
Mhm.
because of the way our matchup works out, I have a good answer for Vader. The problem is I don't have a good answer for Vader and Din and 3 bikes. So we'll see what I fail to answer this game.
I mean, yeah, I think I'm with you there, Daniel. I think Vader is top tier. He's doing everything good. He's got Capel Trooper and he's got 6 command cards. Force Choke is amazing. Like you're automatically S tier if you have Force Choke. If you
Mhm.
could take Force Choke.
And if you can get there, and with burst of
Yeah,
speed, he can now get
you could
there.
get yeah. Like that's my approach to most Force users though, is just ignore them because they can't really do the damage output on B1s when I'm playing CIS. Let me clarify that.
Yep.
I think the only Force user you can't really ignore is Maul because he has 3 acts and he could do a lot of shenanigans
Yeah.
over
His
all the other
objective
Force
stuff is a
users.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, are you guys good? Is it going to be streaming?
I don't think so, no.
No. Is I'm assuming you're playing on your desktop. Is it powerful enough to record it as you're playing? Maybe we could throw it up on the YouTube.
Maybe. I'll test and see. Yeah. I've got my game Monday, so that's tomorrow, but I can test out some stuff this
So
afternoon.
what
See if I can
you're
get it.
telling us is don't put up this podcast until after Monday.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, well
Gotta keep it
that gives you
secret.
time. That gives you time to play JR today. If you wanted to practice those lists
Yeah, run this
going
list.
up against that list.
I think I'm okay. I think we're just we're gonna go in and we're gonna take this advice and see what we can do.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I want to
Like,
hear
oh,
about
I
this
mean,
game.
if that's the case, what I would do, I mean, if you're just taking our advice, I would definitely just do where's those objectives at? I would definitely just do bombing run, hemmed in, and probably war weary. And then just run
That's
your
solid
army out of
advice. I like
just
it.
run
Yep.
your army
My
out of
guys
and
will
see
be
what
panicking
happens.
with the bomb. I don't understand. Adam said this was a good plan.
Hey, what map are you guys on?
Oh
Oh,
yeah. Show me the map. Cause you're a rep player. That
Sorry, I'm on the wrong computer for that. I totally forgot.
can you send the link?
That's what I'll do is I'll go ahead, I'll send the link, and maybe we can attach it to the end of the episode so people can see.
Well, I wanted to. Do you know what side you're gonna pick?
I have not decided what side I'm gonna pick.
'Cause
Yeah.
If you send the link, I got TTS. I can throw it up. Check it
Oh,
out.
let me. So, well, the way I have it is I have it as a saved object in my TTS, so it's not on here.
Okay.
Sorry,
No,
I
you're
can send
good,
it
you're
to you
good.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll throw it up, or just a little part right here. I'll just make it. It'll cover us all. I mean, I'm sure everybody's
Nice.
tired of seeing us, anyways.
Yeah.
That's about all I got for this episode, guys. We're just about at time.
What
Do you have
about rules
any?
question?
Oh, you got a rules questions? Are you
Yeah,
ready?
man. You put me on rules questions, and I got rules questions.
Well, I got so excited about this game for Daniel that I forgot about rules. And it's who put you on rules questions, man? No, you don't ever follow the rules anyways.
Well, yeah, when you just are awesome, you don't have to follow rules, man.
All right, what you got
Okay.
for us, Dieter?
All right. If I have a unit with a panic token on it, can my opponent force push it into melee? Or does the panic token prevent that?
I think you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to be force pushed.
Okay.
And I honestly wouldn't be force pushing you into melee. I'd be force pushing you just a little bit closer to that board's edge.
The panic token would prevent the engagement.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I need to start putting panic tokens on the board.
Yeah. I thought this was a shocker too. I guess it must be a panic rule where you can't start a melee.
With your
But
panic movement.
yeah. And since you're moving them, it's still considered a panic. You could
Yeah.
technically move them closer to you, but it can't start an engagement.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty
No,
awesome.
okay, well, was that answered from LJ?
Yep, that was answered from LJ.
Okay, because my question is because if I would understand if it was the panic move itself that cannot start an enemy.
Well, so how it works is that when you do the rally step and they're panicked, they're technically supposed to get a panic token to signify that they're panicked. So
And then
any
they'd be
move
panicked until
therefore
the end of the
after
round.
Yep.
until they rally enough off to not be panicked.
So their next activation.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and again, last bullet point under panicked. A panicked unit cannot move into melee with an enemy unit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Here's another rule. If a unit has enough suppression tokens to be considered panicked, and if your command card was new ways to motivate them, and you assign a command token to the panic unit, could that unit take a wound to get its free action to recover before the unit rallies and remove all its suppression tokens? So if it was a 2 or more activation during that activation.
What's the wording on new ways to motivate?
New ways to motivate is right here. When a friendly non-Darth Vader trooper unit with a face-up order token activates, it may suffer 1 wound to perform 1 free action.
I think this does work. I think that because it happens when you activate, that'd be before the rally step, so you could recover and not panic.
I would agree.
Yes. You may give it a wound to take the recover action and then do your rally step.
Nice.
Which is super nice. I did not know that.
Excellent.
And then the final one is let's see, it's kind of broken up. Yeah, this one I'm kind of like debating on. Is interesting, the ruling on it. A field commander only has a courage bubble when it has the command token. It can get it either by ignoring the minimum commander requirements and therefore being the only commander, no change in order token, retains the heavy. Or when the original commander dies, example Dooku, the field commander can be promoted and get the commander token, change order token to the commander, and gets a courage bubble. So the question is, so as long as Dooku is alive, the field commander in the AAT does not have a courage bubble. What do you guys think?
I think that's true. Yeah.
No, because he's still a field commander. So I would say he's because you put the card and it's field commander. It doesn't say that he's only a commander if there's no other commanders. He just gains that rank. So I would say he always has his courage bubble.
So Daniel would be right. The unit with field commander has a courage bubble when it receives a commander token. Both examples you listed are as times you would have a courage bubble. So he only has the courage bubble when he has the commander token,
When he's
which is
acting as
interesting.
your commander.
Yeah. I guess he should have said just a commander, because when he said commander token, it's like, well, if you don't take the minimum required, you technically still have a heavy token, so it's not technically a commander token. But
I think it
I
switches to a
guess
commander token though, doesn't it?
nope, it keeps it heavy. That's why you can't
Oh
bounty.
wow,
Yeah, that's why you can't bounty a heavy, because they don't get the commander token.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so but
So
my question then is, so with field commander,
mm,
you are promoting a unit to commander, right? So my ATST is now my commander,
right.
or a commander. If I bring Vader, I still have a field commander in my ATST. So what
But
does Vader have to do? Why can't I run double commander like in every other list?
I think this is a holdover from the way that field commander used to be, where you didn't used to be able to take it as your commander. So it only worked as like a replacement commander. It just could be nominated after a commander died. And so then that makes sense. Is like, oh, he only can be promoted, so he doesn't get his courage bubble until he's promoted. But now that he doesn't have to be promoted, it doesn't make sense anymore. I feel like they should just have the courage bubble.
and on
But
top of that, like the field commander, you can still nominate it to issue out orders, while you have another commander like Vader.
mhm.
But yeah, as far as the courage bubble goes, yeah, it's interesting.
Actually, it's right here. It's the only bullet point under field commander. A unit nominated as a commander using field commander keyword is treated as a commander only for the purposes of issuing orders with a command card during that command phase.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, the courage bubble is relatively new.
Yep. There you go. Man, you did two good ones.
Three
I'm
good ones.
surprised. I'm surprised. You got any more? Or is that it? You just get three.
That's just the three. I'd just like to do three.
All right. All right. Daniel, you got anything to add?
No, I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm all prepped for my game now. So
JR?
Not much. Just looking forward to everybody else getting their games in for the Escalation League. We're gonna be hopefully everyone gets it this week. It looks like mostly people got it done, and then get on the next round. I want to see who gets to win.
I will throw it out there again. You guys head over to Ender's Games, Clovis, California, this Wednesday. I will be there at 5:30, hopefully beating the living heck out of Carson. But you know, the way it works is I'm probably going to be walking away with my head hung in shame. Store opens at 3. We will be there at 5:30. Or around 5 is when I'll be there. Live stream will start at 5:30. Jump on our Twitch, our YouTube, our Facebook, our Discord. Guys, our Discord is happening. There's always a great conversation going on. And not a lot from JR all the time, which is great.
The best, man. The best.
All right, guys. Well, JR, Daniel, thank you very much for joining me. Everybody out in podcast land, thank you for listening. You guys have a wonderful week.
See ya.